This is Mission Control Houston, 6.5 minutes until touchdown. There's our first video of the Soyuz TMA 04M descending under its main parachute on a cloudless morning on Monday morning in Kazakhstan. It is 8:46 in the morning on Monday at the landing site. Gennady Padalka in the center seat of the descent module as the Soyuz commander, flanked on his left by Sergei Revin, Joe Akaba on his right, just minutes away from touchdown to complete 125 days in space, 123 days aboard the International Space Station. The weather at the landing site is ideal. As you can see, not a cloud in the sky, very light winds to greet the three returning Expedition 32 crew members. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Gennady Padalka wrapping up his fourth flight into space, having chalked up 711 days in space on those four missions, ranking him fourth on the all-time list of most experienced space travelers behind Sergei Krikalev, Alexander Kaleri, and Sergei Avdeyev. Joe Akaba wrapping up his second flight into space, 138 days in all, including 13 days aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery in March of 2009 on the STS-119 mission. Sergei Revin completing his first flight into space, and of course, those 125 days. About 4 minutes until touchdown. Soyuz now just a couple of kilometers above the landing site. Again, descending straight and narrow towards what is expected to be an on-target touchdown. Momentary loss of video from the landing site through the relay that is provided through a complex series of satellite feeds back to the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov. About 2 minutes until touchdown. All of the search and recovery helicopters are on station, hovering around the landing site. Just a few hundred meters off the ground, we've reacquired our live television from the landing site, standing by for touchdown. And once again, the final moments of the descent of the Soyuz spacecraft under its chute. You can see one of the Russian search and recovery helicopters that will land within seconds after touchdown. And standing by for touchdown. And touchdown confirmed. The soft landing engines firing. The touchdown has occurred at 9:53 p.m. Central Time, 10:53 p.m. Eastern Time, just north of Arkalyk, Kazakhstan. Gennady Padalka, Sergei Revin, and Joe Acaba back on Earth. The first all-terrain vehicles and other recovery personnel are now in the process of making their way toward the capsule, and you'll be seeing the helicopters beginning to land as well as the process of safing the vehicle and extracting the crew gets underway. Once again, the Soyuz TMA 04M, a tried-and-true vehicle operating perfectly from the time it launched back on May 15th, to carry Padalka, Revin, and Acaba to the International Space Station, returns home this evening for a bullseye landing at 9:53 p.m. Central Time, 8:53 a.m. Kazakhstan time on Monday morning. Everything with tonight's deorbit and landing activities went by the book. The two crews, the departing crew of Padalka, Revin, and Acaba, said farewell to Sonny Williams, the new space station commander, Yuri Malenchenko, and Aki Hoshide. They said farewells at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, some 8.5 hours ago. Hatch closure was marked at 3:12 p.m. Central Time as Padalka, Revin, and Acaba made their way inside the Soyuz vehicle, closed the hatch, and began the process of leak checks to ensure a tight seal between the Soyuz and its docking port at the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. The crew climbed into their launch and entry suits, the Sokol suits, with undocking occurring over Nairobi, Kenya at 6:09 p.m. Central Time, 7:09 p.m. Eastern Time. The separation burn opened up a rate and a distance between the Soyuz and the International Space Station ultimately of about 12 kilometers for the deorbit burn that got underway on time at 8:56 p.m. Central Time. It was a 4-minute, 16-second retrograde firing that enabled the Soyuz to begin its slide out of orbit for its entry back into the Earth's atmosphere. All of the entry milestones were accomplished on time, setting the stage for landing that you saw just a moment ago at 9:53 p.m. Central Time, 10:53 p.m. Eastern Time, just north of the town of Arkalyk.